First have to have your land base, and you got to know where your land is and how much you got of it, and then from there everything kind of goes up.
Craig Alameda, a partner at Top Flavor Farms, says the concept sounds simple, but a lot goes into knowing the exact measurements of your farm.
We needed to know how many acres, we call them green acres, that we actually were farming.
Because when farmers lease their land from the landowners, it's measured including roads, ditches, and any other structures on the property.
We started to find out that what we were actually planting may have been, 10% as high as 20% lower.
Which Alameda says can really start to add up when you're farming thousands of acres from multiple ranchers.
You go to put pesticides on or fertilizers, if you could either be under or over applicating when you're doing that. So it's very important to kind of have the exact number of what you want to work with when you're ordering transplants or you're doing other types of things that are coming in.
Especially because fields come in all shapes and sizes.
I did not have square fields. I had a lot of edges and round edges and odd shaped fields, and that kind of is very difficult when you're doing half plantings and stuff to figure out how many acres you actually do plant out there of certain things.
And once they found out the exact acreage of their fields, Alameda says their costs went down by about 5 to 6% overall. So they started this idea of exact GPS mapping more than 10 years ago, but it didn't really take off until this year, when this Craig Alameda came home to work on the farm.
This has kind of been his thing with it, and it's just kind of, before it would have been handing him a hoe and going out there and letting him try to chop some weeds, and so now I could actually use a little bit, I get a better use of his talent and what he can do and his creativity.
It started with a GPS mapping project when he was just a teen.
A lot of opportunity for the younger kids. Before it was an old man's game and all that, but I'll tell you what, it's changing real fast, and these old guys we're going to be phased out pretty fast because it's becoming a young man's business now.
With new technology, the tech whiz created a digital map of the entire farm.
Now I can get as accurate as I want because wherever I can walk, that's where I can get my measurements from. If you're doing this, then you're cutting back on maybe other expenses and it'll pay for itself pretty quickly.
So he's walked each field to make sure it's perfect.
The human Etch-a-Sketch, I love it.
Basically, yeah, just go around the whole entire thing and that would be one. And so we've probably done about a very, very small fraction of this whole field right now.
Then he laid it all out on a website that farmers can access on their iPads at any time with just a click of an icon.
And they will see that their field is on there, and then they'll just click on it. And that will give them the acreages for each of these blocks of land within this ranch. And they can also look at the row length.
And Alameda says he's proud of his son for teaching them how to use this technology in the field.
Kind of take it for granted we couldn't do without it, basically, is where we're at now.
Now, even their planting schedules are built into the system.
We've eliminated a huge booklet of paperwork that would be printed every single week for multiple people. We've eliminated that, and they can access their plantings for that week. And it's organized by ranch, it's organized by crop, and it's organized by date.
And it makes communication instant.
And if any changes, detailed changes, everything's just updated automatically. So it's quite handy. Yeah, very, very handy now. It's a new world now, and we have to kind of move with it.
And both say it's moving fast.
Well, it's actually surprising. The more and more I've been working with this industry, the more and more I see the non-farming side bleeding into it. There's programmers coming in here programming these tractors to do very, very specific things.
So for a tech nerd like himself, the farming industry has a lot to offer.
There's people coming in that are computer programmers that probably would never dream of being a farmer, but they're contributing big time to it.
And for him, Alameda says it's a way to help the family business, even though he didn't take the farming route.
I never considered myself to be a farmer. I don't see myself as a farmer because I don't do what they do. I don't think I could ever do what they do. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of heartache to be a farmer. But I like to come up with creative solutions to help that process, so maybe it won't be as much heartache and a little bit more efficient and easier on them.
This Homegrown segment is brought to you by the University of Arizona, Yuma.